Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having an amazing day today. Today we're taking a look at the 37-page short story. It's the second short story in the collection, Sword and Sorcery. It was published. It's called The Fire of Mazda. It's written by Richard Tierney in the Sword and Sorcery collection for you folks. As a reminder, I picked this up. It's published by Chaosiam in the mid-890s. I found it on Amazon, so I'll link it to you in the comments below. It's in the Cthulhu Mythos. The first one was more of a fantasy, a Roman Empire take on it, kind of set back in that era. So that's good stuff. And then the next few things that happen are you do add some fancy things in, and there are there are a couple of Lovecraftian call-outs, and there's a description of something that feels in the Cthulhu Mythos, but you might actually argue that this actually is in the Cthulhu Mythos, but it's published by the Cthulhu Mythos editors and such. So the short stories Richard Tierney started writing these things in the 80s and 70s and such. They're pretty recent, a few decades ago, by you folks. Now, I do think that the first two short stories, and perhaps this entire series, feels very much like Robert E. Howard's Sword and Sandal stuff. But he also has some like Conan the Barbarian. But he also has some things that are in that genre, but are in the fantasy side. It's set in the Roman Empire too, like this one, and then have characters like that are in the Cthulhu Mythos, but are fantasy-ish. Like there's a Celtic person, for example, in one short story. I think that's Bran MacMorn, if I remember correctly. But anyway, yeah, he does have some stuff out there too. So this does feel like that. All right, so let's get started with my review. As a reminder, my reviews are spoiler-free, so I don't do a deeper dive in unpacking sort of, the plot or the structure, that sort of thing. What I typically do is give you the first couple of 2 or 3 pages in a 37-page like this that took about 2 hours last night for me to read. So this is a little longer since this collection is a little oversized, but it's fine. I definitely enjoyed it. So what happened in the first few pages is that after, I won't spoil the events of the first short story, but in the first, because this takes place afterwards, this is definitely sequential by Simon Magus. But basically what happens is that Simon Magus is talking to an apprentice, a dark apprentice, a dark sorcerer that have a similar background as him, as Samaritans, that definitely don't like the Romans because of the bad things they've done to them. They're definitely anti-Rome. And they're plotting to kill the emperor, and they're joined by some senators who don't like him too because he's overly powerful, and other stuff too. And his apprentice too, of this bad guy, and his apprentice, he's a sorcerer. So there will definitely be magic involved, and magic was used in the previous one too. So that's definitely part of the course, if you will. So I think it's fun stuff. I liked it. It is a lot longer than the previous one, which was a 7 out of 2. And also was 19 pages long, so it was a very fast read. It was like 45 minutes. This one, I enjoyed it, but it's like it's almost twice as long, 37 pages rather than 38. So it's definitely a fun thing, but it was a harder read, right? It took me longer, but I liked it. I thought it used its length well. I thought that did a lot more world building and that sort of a thing. I thought it was good stuff. So I'm probably going to be giving this about a 7.5 out of 10. I was never bored. I stopped reading it before the news, and I had to edit my YouTube stuff, post for the next day, knocked that out and watched the news, and then came back with about 10 pages left, loved it. And I was really missing it. I thought about just pushing it back. So I definitely enjoyed it. Good stuff. So there you are. That is the 37-page long Richard Tierney short story for you folks. The second one, of 12. Again, like you did in the comments below, in case you're interested in checking it out. All right, so there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. As a reminder, this is in the Cthulhu Mythos that was created in the pulp era by authors trading different things, but having the shared universe. It started with H.P. Lovecraft carrying things around from thing to thing. So it's in that genre, like Cthulhu Nyarlathotep, the Necronomicon, and so forth. He would carry it from story to story, and he sort of put it all together in the Call of Cthulhu. which is where friends come up with the term Cthulhu Mythos. And then he started to bring in things like Cthulhu from Clark Ashton Smith, also a writer for Weird Tales, and a co-writer in Robert E. Howard stuff too, and vice versa. And so he started a shared universe with those sorts of things, which built into this universe that are still being shared in today. So that's where we're coming from with this. So this is in the Cthulhu Mythos according to the editors and so forth, but you might get a Cthulhu purist might disagree, but I don't care. I just want good stories. That's all I really care about. All right, so there you are. That's a reminder. So did you read this? If so, what you think about it? Let's talk about it in the comments below. If you agree or disagree, my 7.5 out of 10. If you enjoyed this, why not hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon if you're feeling frisky, and then also let your friends know, particularly Cthulhu Mythos friends, Richard Tierney fans, fantasy fans that are of things that have a spin like this. And there you are. All right, so as a reminder, this channel's name is The Worst Thing About New Books. That's a quote by a French philosopher who wrote one book in the 18th century called Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? So finding older works like this that are a few decades old is definitely fun stuff for this channel. All right, and there we are. I want to thank you so much just for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video, because we all have so many things that are happening right in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spend this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it so much. So once again, have a great day.